What is making this year so extremely hot? Human-made climate change is supercharging natural weather phenomena to drive heat waves roasting Asia, Europe, and North America that could make 2023 the hottest year since records began, scientists say. And here experts explain how 2023 has got so hot, warning these record temperatures will get worse even if humanity sharply cuts its planet-warming gas emissions, El Nino, and more. After a record hot summer in 2022, this year, the Pacific warming phenomenon known as El Nino has returned, heating up the oceans. This may have provided some additional warmth to the North Atlantic, though because the El Nino event is only just beginning, this is likely only a small portion of the effect. Robert Rode of U.S. temperature monitoring group Berkeley Earth wrote in an analysis. The group calculated that there was an 81% chance that 2023 would become the warmest year since thermometer records began in the mid-19th century. Dust and sulfur. The warming of the Atlantic may also have been sharpened by a decrease of two substances that typically reflect sunlight away from the ocean: dust blowing off the Sahara Desert and sulfur aerosols from shipping fuel. Rode's analysis of temperatures in the North Atlantic region noted exceptionally low levels of dust coming off the Sahara in recent months. This was due to unusually weak Atlantic trade winds, said Karsten Hosten of Germany's Federal Climate Service Center. Meanwhile, new shipping restrictions in 2020 slashed toxic sulfur emissions, and this would not explain all of the present North Atlantic spike, but may have added to its severity, Rode said. Stagnant anticyclones. Warming oceans affect land weather patterns, prompting heat waves and droughts in some places and storms in others. The hottest atmosphere sucks up moisture and dumps it elsewhere, said Richard Allen, professor of climate science at the University of Reading in the UK. Scientists highlighted the length and intensity of the lingering anticyclone systems bringing the heat waves. Where stagnant high-pressure areas persist over continents, the air sinks and warms, melting away clouds, causing intense summer sunshine to parch the soils, heating the ground and air above with heat waves lodged in place for weeks, Allen said. In Europe, the hot air which pushes in from Africa is now staying put, with settled high-pressure conditions meaning that heat in warm sea, land, and air continues to build, added Hannah Cloak, climate scientist at the University of Reading. Climate's changing role. Scientists at the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, said in their global summary report this year that climate change had made deadly heat waves more frequent and more intense across most land regions since the 1950s. This month, heat waves are not one single phenomenon but several acting at the same time, said Robert Vautard, director of France Pierre-Simon Laplace Climate Institute, but they are all strengthening by the one factor, and that is climate change, he said. Higher global temperatures make heat waves longer and more intense. Despite being the main driver, climate change is one variable that humans can influence by reducing emissions from fossil fuels. We are moving out of the usual and well-known natural oscillations of the climate to an uncharted and more extreme territory, said Melissa Lazenby, senior lecturer in climate change at the University of Sussex. However, we have the ability to reduce our human influence on the climate and weather and to not create more extreme and long-distance heat waves, she said. Heat forecast. Berkeley Earth warned the current El Nino could make Earth even hotter next year, 2024. The IPCC has said heat waves risk getting more frequent and intense, though governments can limit climate change by reducing countries' greenhouse gas emissions. This is just the beginning, said Simon Lewis, chair of global change science at University College London. Deep, rapid, and sustained cuts in carbon emissions to net zero can halt the warming, but humanity will have to adapt even more severe heat waves in the future. This is from Agence France Presse on Science Alert. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.